on stage, in the booth, of course. And I'm joined by Indonesian singer-songwriter Rangga Jones.
Hello.
Welcome to the show,
Thank you for having me.
Rangga.
Hello.
Yay! We got
Woo.
fans in the booth as well. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. The last time you had an interview with Monster, you were talking to me about it, was
Yeah.
with Rico and Kayla.
Mm.
So that was remote though,
That was online.
and that was the first time you were actually featured.
Featured in Monster. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. So I wanted to talk to you today, of course, with this album that you've just released, and it's called Everything I've Wanted to Say. And it's
Yeah.
perfect for the deep dish because we're going to dive deep into
Yes, we
this
will.
dish of an album. So talk to us about the title first. So what
Yeah.
made that the right name for this album, and what was the initial idea that sparked this whole project?
Yeah. So the initial idea was because I went through a pretty rough heartbreak and
Mm,
breakup about 2 years ago.
yeah.
And I kept everything to myself and I wrote a bunch of songs, but I wasn't ready to release it.
Mm.
So hence the name Everything I Wanted to Say, because now I'm ready to share and release it to everyone and like tell them, hey guys, this is my diary and my journey of breakup, healing, and finding love again.
Yeah. And 7 years, that is a very long time of
Yeah.
knowing somebody and then kind of untethering yourself
Yeah,
from
for
somebody
sure.
too. So I want to know, like, what was that process like before you even decided to write this album? What was that process like of like the breakup? I'm pretty sure, the
Yeah.
days weren't it wasn't linear in the way of you moving forward. There were
Yeah,
some
for
days, of
sure.
course.
I mean, at first, like you said, 7 years is no joke.
Hmm.
Um, it felt like everything just sort of fell apart. And obviously, it was sadness for a few weeks. And
Yeah.
then once I kind of acknowledged it and got a closure, I moved on and started kind of healing myself. And then I actually wanted to give up on love. I didn't want to go into another relationship. I'm like, I'm done. But then that's how life works. When you're not searching for it, the perfect love comes to you. And
Oh.
now I can happily say that I'm really happy and in love again.
That's awesome. And that's always like that's the best part of it, right? Because
Mm,
sometimes when you are in that breakup process, you're in that spot of like wondering like am I going to meet someone better,
yeah,
right? Or was that person like the best person for me? And you just
exactly.
had to trust in yourself
Yeah.
eventually that you will bump into
Like you
somebody,
don't have to force and like find it. You know what I mean?
right?
It'll come to you guys.
Yes, monsters who are listening, you don't have to force love, okay? It'll just come to you. Especially, it's why work on yourself first.
Exactly.
You
Make
got to
sure,
work. Yeah,
take time on yourself, heal, make sure you're really, really like moved on.
yeah.
Don't, just straight away come back to another new relationship. Just take time, give yourself some
Mm-mm.
space and heal, and then
Yeah.
eventually it'll come to you.
I want to know, Ranga, for you, like, how
Yeah.
did you know when you were healed from that breakup?
I think I knew that I was fully moved on and healed when I kind of didn't hold grudge anymore. I kind of
Mm.
just, because 7 years is a long time and I was really close with her cousins and they're like my
Mhm.
bros. So even that was like, it just felt like natural and I didn't have any grudge or anything. So I was like, you know what? I think I've properly moved on now, because before I was like still, angry and like, why?
Sure.
But after that, I was like, yeah, I think I've moved on for sure.
Yeah, and right, that's how you'll know. It's like when you can just like, you know what, I forgive
Yeah.
you.
Like,
I'm gonna let
it's not
this
meant to
go
be,
now. Yeah.
it is what it is. It really
Mhm.
is. It is what it is.
Yes. I love conversations like this. I wish we could keep going. But we are going to talk about more of that. But well, let's talk first about your tracks in this album, Everything
Yes.
I've Wanted to Say. So from Pushing Me Away to Love Again, feels like, obviously we are walking through this diary of yours, as you've said.
Yeah.
So for you, which song did you feel that was hardest to write emotionally? And then which one actually surprised you the most?
Emotionally, I think is the ballad called If You Don't. That one was pretty emotional. My guitarist helped me out with the chords
Mhm.
and I actually opened up to him and how I felt. And shout out to Waywin. His name is Waywin. He made me really comfortable and opened up. And I told him like, because if you guys listen to the song, chorus one is different than chorus two.
Mm.
So chorus one says like, You can stay if you want, but it's okay if you don't. But chorus two, I say it's better if you don't stay. Like telling her I've moved on.
Oh.
It's better if we separate ways.
Mm.
So that was pretty emotional to write, and a surprise. Honestly, um, let me think. Probably move on because I came up with that when I was in a solo trip in Tokyo. I
Mm.
wasn't even planning to write any songs, and I heard a loop that the one that you hear in the song, and immediately lyrics, melodies just came naturally.
Wow.
And I finished the demo in like 30 minutes or an hour.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That is a surprise.
it's definitely a surprise.
Definitely. And I like that you mentioned when you were saying if I don't write that
Yeah, if you
track,
don't, yeah,
if you don't, it's like when you mentioned that line, like if like it's better if
it's
you
better
go.
if you go. Like,
Yeah.
don't stay.
Yeah. I felt like maybe writing that probably was it cathartic for you to just like you have to sing it. You wrote it first and then you
Yeah,
sang it.
exactly. Even
Yeah.
listening back to it, sometimes it's like, whoa, I
Uh,
wrote this. That's kind of crazy,
at
man.
that time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure like okay that does strike a lot of emotion for
yeah,
sure. And so Love Again though that is your closing track for this album, but it's also the star track of this album as well.
yeah,
So do you remember the moment, I guess, because it is Love Again, right? So
yeah.
this is after the breakup, you moved
After,
on,
yeah,
you've healed yourself and you want to move forward in your life. So, do you remember that moment when that made you believe in love again?
yeah. It's, I mean, it's when I had feelings for my current now girlfriend. She's actually off camera, guys.
Shout
She's
out.
to my left. Yeah, she just made it feel like I'm ready to love again. I
Hmm.
really, like I said, I really wasn't looking for anything at all. I was like, put my head down, music first, no girls, no nothing.
Yeah.
But then she made me feel comfortable, made me trust, like believe in trust again and believe in love again. So yeah, I guess that was the time where I felt like, you know what, I'm ready to love again.
Yeah, I love that. And so you're a singer-songwriter and you're also a producer, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this album. So let's talk production.
Mm.
You're a one-man band pretty
Yeah.
much.
Pretty
So
much.
which track it could be, part of this album or, any one of your singles. Which track pushed you the most as a producer?
Ooh. Push me the most. I think the song Strangers, because that uses an interesting like chord progression
Mm.
that I've never used, and creating that song was really inspired by Lainey. And I
Oh.
was listening to their latest album called A Beautiful Blur,
Hmm.
like on loop, and I was like, I want to make something like this. It's kind of not how I produce songs, but let's give it a try. And Strangers came to life because of Lainey's inspiration.
Oh,
So I
shout
think
out
Strangers, yeah, you
to Lainey.
gotta listen to Strangers. It's a good one. Shout out to Lainey too.
Yeah, awesome. So Strangers is the name, and that was the most challenging
Yeah,
as a producer.
as a producer.
And then singer songwriter, would it be just this album, you would say? Because you had to
Yeah,
dig deep.
I had to dig hella deep. Yeah, I think this album was quite challenging, but some felt natural. Like I said, move on.
Hmm.
Some songs just wrote itself
Right.
actually. So yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what would be your advice, let's say, for singer songwriters or artists just in general, like when
yeah.
it comes to feeling raw emotion,
Hmm.
like what is your maybe a tip or a piece of advice when it comes to writing songs literally like from the heart and soul?
I think just be as honest and straightforward as you can, but no pressure too. If
Hmm.
you feel like it's a bit too personal for you and you don't want to share it, it's fine too.
Hmm.
But I feel like stay true and stay authentic, and just imagine like how you would want your fans and listeners to listen to your story.
Yeah.
So just be honest, but don't be too pressured, and just have fun and take it. You have to have fun when you're writing songs. If you're not having fun, it's not it.
Mm,
That's like a rule I have to myself. If I have
okay.
to force a song out, it's not it.
That could be another piece of advice too,
Yeah, don't
actually.
force songs out. Really, really.
Yeah. It's the same way, like, don't force, love
Yeah,
when it comes around
exactly.
too, right? We're
it's
going
a it's
full
a general
circle.
like rule, I guess.
Yeah. Don't force anything in
In
general.
general, yes.
So, like, you've had this, there are moments when people would actually use your audio, and
Mm,
then you they would create content
yeah.
for it as well, especially around Southeast Asia. So you've had, these fan engagements, I guess, even just digitally. But
Yeah.
have you ever had one that stuck with you, whether it be digitally or like in person also? That you've encountered a fan and it was just like it's memorable for you.
I think off the top was actually in back at home in Singapore.
Mm.
I rarely get noticed there. So like one time my girlfriend and I were in the train in the MRT, and two guys like they call me like bro, Ranga. I was like, what? Yes, I love your songs, man. They were seated and we were standing, so I was like,
I
I'm
love
very awkward when it
that.
comes to like fan interaction. So I was just like, thank you.
No.
I'm a big fan of yours. Keep doing your thing. I was like, thank you so much. And we had to get off at the same stop, so I like
Oh,
purposely slowed ourselves down and like let them go
yes.
first. But that was pretty funny and quite memorable too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know that moment, right? Especially even if it's with just a friend. Okay, I have to go, and then you're
You
going the
know,
same
yeah, you know
way.
what I
It's
mean?
like,
And you have to like
okay, let's
let
slow
me
down.
look at my phone and not be
Yeah,
awkward.
let me see where I'm going. No, that's amazing though. I mean, just to be, especially to be recognized, like in
Yeah.
in, in the train.
It's that was a crazy moment. I will never
Yeah,
forget it. It was quite funny too.
yeah. A shout out to whoever it
Shout out
was
to those
who,
two boys, man.
yeah, and that maybe may they heal through your music
Yeah.
as well. So, do you feel like Ranga, like you feel like being based in Singapore, it gives you a unique voice in R&B or pop, or does it come with pressure to have to globalize the way that you sound?
Pressure is really honestly always there,
Hmm.
especially with one of the tracks in the album. It's called Infatuated. It went super like kind of viral in Thailand out of all places.
Mm,
We were not targeting anything. It just naturally got viral there.
yeah.
So then I felt pressure when that happened. And I was scared to like release the album because like, what if the numbers don't do well?
Mm,
But I just realized that screw all those numbers, release what I want to release, make what I want to make, and I know that my fans will appreciate and listen to it.
yeah.
So I try not to get too pressured from it.
Mm. I feel like it's also it comes off very differently if it's something
Yeah.
that is just something that you like you're giving something without any asking for anything in
Yeah.
return,
Yeah.
right?
That's a good way of yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's just it's a wonderful way of actually like expressing your art in that sense.
Mm.
So it this album, once again, the album is called Everything I've Wanted to Say, for all you monsters who are wondering. This is a very raw and less polished but in a good way kind of album.
Yeah.
So was that a conscious decision for you, for just how things came out while you were in production?
Yeah, I just honestly wasn't really thinking about it too much on like
Mm,
how it was gonna sound,
mhm,
but I knew that I wanted to be as authentic and as natural as I could
mm.
because my previous projects it's not super personal.
Yeah.
So this one I wanted to be special, and if listeners listen to it from track 1 all the way to track 10, it tells the whole story of like what I went through. So
Yeah.
like track 1, like first half basically was sadness, anger, heartbreak. Then like the little middle section is like healed,
Hmm.
and then second half is where all the happiness and love comes back. So I really suggest the monsters out there and new listeners to listen to it from track 1 all the way to track
So
10
in order.
in order.
In
Yeah.
order. There we go. So at least like it's like a book. It's like
Yes.
an audio book, I guess.
Audiobook. Yeah.
Well,
Audio music
there are
book.
different chapters to it. So writing this album, of course, it was a very turbulent time in your life. So
Yeah.
how do you then, especially for all the creatives out there, life happens,
Life
right? And it's
happens.
going to be so hard for you to tap into that, inspiration, that creativity. So how do you protect that creativity when life gets too loud?
Um, I think time. Just like when life gets too loud, just give yourself some time to relax first
Hmm.
before going back to like making art.
Yeah.
I feel like again it's pressure again. Like you just can't get too pressured by how loud the world is because if not it will affect how you write songs or how you make art too.
Mm,
So give yourself some time and again it will naturally just come back to you. Don't let
mm.
like the loudness of the world get to you. It's
Oh,
easier said than done. I know. but
Oh,
like
yeah. Yeah.
just practice it slowly.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like give yourself some time.
give
Take a
yourself.
little
I
bit of
think time
break.
is, yeah.
Yeah,
There's no
absolutely.
wrong in taking breaks, really, but just not too
Yes.
long. Just not too long though.
Because at the end of the day, sometimes it's your body that will tell you.
Yeah,
Because if you
really.
keep pushing, your body
Your
will tell
body's just
you
gonna
when
like,
to
nope,
stop.
we need a break.
Yeah. So interesting. I have an interesting question here.
Yeah.
So let's say someone's just had their heart broken, right?
Okay.
What's the exact Ranga Jones song and lyric, or maybe just the lyric that you would want to prescribe to them?
Um, Probably listen to Strangers, and then after that, listen to Move On.
Okay. Any significant lyric that you want them to focus on, like a
Um,
mantra or something?
ooh, that's a good question. Probably Move On. I say like, but I'll move on. I'll be fine, and I hope that you get what you're looking for, because it seems like I don't have it anymore.
Mm.
I feel like that's a good way to tell yourself like maybe I should just move on and not be stuck in the past.
Mm.
Yeah, and Strangers is a good one because it's like that song I wanted to encapsulate like the feeling of you were once lovers, but
Mm.
isn't it strange that when you break up, you're strangers again?
Yes,
Like
you're.
imagine you know them for 7, 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're back to strangers just because you cut off.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
That's
right?
the weirdest thing, right? When it
So
comes
weird.
to the
So
end of a
weird.
relationship. So strangers and then move
Move
on.
on, yeah.
So for all you broken up monsters who are listening, listen to Strangers and Move On by Ranga Jones.
Yes.
Yes. And so when you were healing also through this breakup finally, um d- were did you actually give yourself time to process everything, or did you distract yourself productively at least,
Yeah.
to try to move forward?
I gave myself like a good piece of like duration and time to just take it easy,
Mm-hmm.
but then I also took that time to write the songs that are on the
Mm.
album. So
Okay.
actually writing the songs helped me feel so much more relief and like weight off my shoulders because I had so
Ah.
much thoughts in my head that I wanted to get out. Like hence the title is called Everything I Wanted to Say, right? The album.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I gave myself a good amount of time to just chill and take it easy before going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so finally, now that you have said everything you wanted to
Yeah.
say through this album, what's the next chapter now for you? What does it sound like? Maybe if you could come up with an album title after this, everything I wanted to say, what comes next for you now? Or like, do
Hmm.
you want to come up with a, yeah, let's try and come up with an album title for that.
I think yeah, we do have plans for a deluxe.
Oh, okay.
But if it's like a completely new album, obviously I'm not gonna write more heartbreak songs. Maybe I do, but now I'm so in love that I just want to keep writing love songs. I can't help it, guys. I'm a hopeless romantic, you
I
know.
love
I
that.
can't help it. So probably, ooh, what's a good like love album title?
Because you've said everything you wanted to say. So,
Maybe like everything and more. I don't know.
oh, okay.
Just off the top.
Okay, everything and more. That is amazing. I mean, off the top of your head, that works for me. So, what are your plans now? Okay, so Ranga, you have this album.
Yeah,
What are your plans? Like you said, you're planning to do a
like a
deluxe.
deluxe. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what about any performances in
Yeah, we're
store?
trying to make things work with performances and shows because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of my fans have been asking all across Southeast Asia to do shows. We're trying so hard, guys. So hopefully, like fingers crossed, like in the near future,
Mm-hmm.
maybe next year that we could do shows all over like Southeast Asia, even like one here in Manila too.
Ooh.
So please pray for me. Hopefully,
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure, Ranga, your fans would really love to see you live and perform all of these songs, whether it's
yes,
about heartbreak or moving on or just being happy.
yes, for sure.
Thank you so much for taking the time to
Thank you
be
so much for having
here.
me again.
And yeah, it was so fun getting to know you. And for all you monsters, once again, it is Ranga Jones here in the
Yes,
studio. Everything I wanted to say,
to say,
yes,
yep.
is already out and available for you guys to cry with. I'm just kidding. There we go. So we are done with this episode. Any message to
Yeah,
our fans?
just thank you guys for supporting. Philippines has always been supporting me since the start. I hope you guys like the new project.
Hmm.
It's a really personal one, so give it a listen. Remember, track one all the way to track 10, no skips, okay? And yeah, tell me what you guys think about it, and add me on socials. Just Ranga Jones.
Ranga
My Instagram
Jones.
is Ranga Jones 18 though, but the rest is just Ranga Jones.
Mm.
Yeah,
There we go, Monsters. Ranga Jones here at RX93.1's booth. And yeah, more power to you and best of
thank you
luck. And
so
hopefully
much.
you get to perform. We have concert series here one day.
Ooh,
Maybe you
okay,
could perform
maybe
here too.
yes.
You know? All right. Well, there we go. Let's go back to more music now. For now, Monsters, keep it locked. More music after the break. Well, actually,